Should any part of the county budget be shielded from cuts, and if so, which area?
About 80% of that budget is decided for us by the state. So there's certain parts of that budget you can't cut just right off the bat. And then there's 20% of that basically, or maybe a little more or a little less. That's not precise, that commissioners have the ability to add funding to or to cut. And then our local departments do a good job. Mitchell County, every one of them last year came in under budget. I can tell you this, that our sheriff's department spends $400,000 less a year approximately than Ada County Sheriff's Department does. Mitchell County ranks third in the state of North Carolina for services provided and tax rate. So what that means is that out of all 100 counties, we're number 3 in the state for the services you get for the money you pay on your property tax. We are doing the dead level best we can to run as clean a government as we can run to provide the best service for the least amount of money that we can.
Mr. Larson, do you support the Second Amendment resolution?
I'm probably as conservative on the Second Amendment as anyone on this table. If y'all know Charles Murphy, good neighbor of mine, real solid Republican, and he and I had a great time keeping each other. I always tell him, every time it's nuts and bolts, Charles, remember, I'll be shooting down the hill. I believe in the Second Amendment. I do believe we need thorough background checks. If there's some indicator out there, we need to know about it. The sheriff's department, the sheriff's street needs to know this person may not be the person that bought a pistol. I know I carry a pistol. I do not have a concealed permit license, but I do carry a little 5x6 permit from the sheriff. I see a good deal on a pistol on the battle. I think a lot of times we get really scared about the Second Amendment. They're coming to take the guns. Well, nobody's ever coming to take mine. And plus, but they're not going to walk through the door and walk out without at least a discussion. So, I think that's an issue that we need to be concerned about, because I think there are some people that really do want to disarm the population for whatever their reason. They feel it's safe or they have other motives. I just don't happen to be one of them. One thing about background checks too, I think they should be permanent 18 months after they conducted, because I don't really want everybody to have a record of what I have in my closet. I think there's sensible gun controls we need to look at. I know a young lady and I were just talking a minute ago about red flag laws. In one hand, I can receive where they're really by a sheriff's street. I want to have that ability to go out and talk to somebody that might be a threat to the community, and we know there may be some issues mentally or violence-wise. But then, what do you do when that red flag is being raised as a vindictive thing against some neighbor you don't like? So I wish I had a great answer on that. Somebody could probably, a lawyer could probably come up with some good laws that would protect the interests of the individual and protect the interests of the community. And again, even if they do that, somebody's going to be kind of swirling around, so it's not in the best interest of the individual community. So, Second Amendment, trust me, you ever want to go shoot, I have a new 327 mag that got plenty of time, don't like no long recoil, wonderful round. So, that's about all I can say, and I know one person here, and his Second Amendment rights, don't give him a frying pan to shoot at, he will cut his hand.
I really like it.
Mr. Pittman, if new resources were available, what one area of county services would you feel needs those additional resources?
Well, I think something that's near and dear to my heart is the children of this county. And I would like to see some of those resources, if we had extra resources, I would use them in developing a therapeutic emergency placement group home so that we can keep our Mitchell County children within the borders of Mitchell County, so that we can be taken getting removed from your home is a shock to your senses as it is, but then to be taken to a city like Charlotte, be put into a new school system, it's just total overload for those kids. It really sets them up for failure. And I truly believe that Mitchell County is the best place for anyone. I think we got a loving community. I think we have people that have a moral compass. I think we still believe in ideas that's made this nation great. And I think we ought to keep as many of our kids within our county's borders as possible. So I would use that money to fund the county emergency placement therapeutic group home. I think that we can pay for some of that with state and federal money as it is.
Mr. Harding, Commissioner Harding, 1 minute rebuttal.
I agree totally with Mr. Pittman and his comment on that. We presently have 76% of our children that are in foster care live in this county. And not only does that affect that child, it affects your school system to the tune of $8,900 per child that's not in this school, guys. My wife and I adopted. The little girls were used to us. They went through counseling for a year and a half and they knew us. We're jerking kids up by the hair of the head. We're putting them here, putting them here, putting them here, putting them here. And right now, in a 5-month period of time, we've spent $405,227 out of county with foster care, and that equals 90% of our money is going out of the county to house our kids, with only 10% of the money staying here.
Thank you. Mr. Green, rebuttal.
Yeah, I agree with Brandon and Jeff. Me being a licensed foster parent in Mitchell County, I know there's only 5 licensed foster parents in Mitchell County families. That's it, 5. And I'm one of them, so that's 4 more left. A lot of the kids being placed out of the county, which Brandon said, it ain't right. We've got to love the community here. You've got to get the word out and resources. To get the word out, a good experience with DSS. If you've had bad experience with DSS, and that's all you hear, and when you're here, then nobody's going to foster. And if you hear good, positive feedback stuff from foster parents, yes, I've had bad experiences. Jeff can vouch for that. I've had real bad experiences, but we've hung in there and done what God told us to do and prayed about it. But you've got to have good resources and good positive feedback from DSS to get them to recruit these families and get them to want to foster.
Mr. Holman, what one part of county government would receive more attention if you were elected?
This work. Well, I have a big heart for the DSS program. Because my daughter was the director for a lot of years. I think that there should be more emphasis put on the children and the children's care. Of course, as most of you know, they took the CAP program away and put it with hospice, and she went with it. And she's happy, so I'm happy. But things went on with the DSS program in the last few months that I have a hard time understanding. It is the initial word on the street that they saved all this money through the DSS program. I can't buy that. I would have probably could have given you a little bit more information and we could have discussed it a little more. I called earlier in the week to get the DSS director to send me the things about DSS employees that was gone, whether they was dismissed, whether it was quit, or what happened to them. But she has yet to respond. Anything else that I asked for, I got. But I guess that thing is closer to me, and I think it should be focused on more. Now, if these fellows can show me where that saved that money without it coming from moving the CAP program to hospice, or show me that it didn't come from all these employees leaving their salary, I'd be interested in seeing it. I was hoping I could get this information from the director to where we wouldn't be talking about this. But for some reason, she chose not to let me have it. Anything else I asked for was I got. And I can't understand if all the savings has come through a DSS, why is the DSS budget increasing the next year? How come we're having to budget more money for it if we're saving all this money? Now, if I can be shown, I'll be happy with it, but I won't be shown.
Commissioner Burleson, 1 minute rebuttal.
Yes, and our audit last year would show you that money, Mr. Holman, but folks, something had to be done with the foster care program in Mitchell County. We had up close to 100 kids in there at one time. Now, saving money is one thing, but that's not what it's about. It's about these kids. Now, jerk them up, throw them in, and crossing on home is fine, but you put them up there instead of adopting them out with people that wanted these kids. And we had an attorney, loved him to death, known him all his life, he wasn't doing a thing. We went a year without one single adoption in Mitchell County. And we hired us a lawyer. The director, he had to have somebody that helped him, and that's the director Ross. And they changed course. And I asked many times, I said, why have we got 2 or 3 times the foster kids in our surrounding counties? Well, it's a drug problem, it's this, it's that. We don't have them now. We've got less than 50, but they're adopted. They're with kinship. They're where they need to be with a chance for life instead of what they might have had.
Just keep, 1 minute rebuttal, Mr. Pittman.
I'd like to add to what Mr. Holman said. If Mr. Holman got any information at all, he did better than I did. I too sent a request for information last week, and I've yet to receive a response. I had a totally different experience when I contacted the county's finance office. They were very transparent, gave me everything I wanted to see that day. I had the exact opposite experience when I requested that information through DSS, when I asked how long that I should expect before I received any of that information, and it wasn't very complicated information. A lot of it they should have been able to tell me immediately. I was told that they had no idea how long it would take, but have to go through the director. Mama didn't raise no fool. I wouldn't expect that I'll have that information before the forum in Bakersfield next week.
1 minute rebuttal, Commissioner Willis.
Well, you can just sneak down here and get it for yourself. In 2015, Mitchell County went in the red in DSS $235,709. In 2016, calendar year, Mitchell County went in the red $435,414. Between those 2 years, in 17, they went in the red $35,367. But that's not the issue, and the issue isn't to blame people. If you read this document that I have in front of me, it's public knowledge, Mr. Roberts has it. We did an operational audit of DSS that outlined a program and a plan and a way to correct the issues that we had in social services with DSS. And the former director and the current director worked with our board diligently to fix some of those problems. I'll take my other minute, if I can, yes, to fix those problems. And we have worked together and we worked diligently. Has it been perfect? No. Is anybody here perfect? No. But through prayer and the best we knew how to do, we have worked to get Mitchell County down to where today we have 53 children in custody, as opposed to the 92 children when we hired Danny Hockaday 3 years ago. The budget is approximately the same, about $1.9 million for both years. But last year, We banked about $533,000 apart from the CAP program being transferred over to hospice, which was a good move for Mitchell County, and it was a good move for hospice, because it ensures that Mitchell County Hospice is going to be there for years to come. The truth about DSS is that you're not going to be happy with anyone that comes out to get your children or comes to do anything in your community. Attacking DSS is a political move. That's all it is.
Mr. Holman, 1 minute rebuttal.
No partner in any political move with me. When Paul left the road, it's approximately 60 years. With political, let's just cut this dust off this. They want to know why that director gives $12,000 for nothing. Hell, when you done your got the county attorney, which that was exactly what was wrong. I agree 100%. That was Lloyd Heights. That didn't have nothing to do with your director getting a new attorney. I still, we got a new attorney for Paul. He cleaned that thing out. I agree with you. There's a backlog and there's a mess. But he cleaned it out. No justification for $12,000. He cleaned it out. Let's get real. That's what most of these people, I've been running for this thing since December. I've been asked one question. And I promise you people, that was the only question I've been asked. They didn't ask how you're going to create a job. They didn't ask what can you do to get more industry in here. I'd love to talk about that. They wanted to know if I was commissioner, would I give that money? No.
Commissioner Burleson, it's your turn. What's the possibility of paving the half-mile gravel road on Hughes Gap in Tennessee?
Can I pass this on, David? You know, we can check with the DOT. I don't think the commissioners haven't got much to do, and I wish we could. I know there's several roads that need some attention, but actually the commissioners don't have much control over the roads. Now, we can contact, and I'll see our acting county manager tomorrow and ask him to call the DOT and check about that, but I can't promise anything. Thank you.
Mr. Green. This is probably a better question for you, I guess. How do you feel you can help bring better broadband to the area?
Well, we were just discussing that just a little while ago. Broadband is something that has gotten on my radar. There are a number of outlying areas throughout the district, whether it be, I guess, Dodgersville down in McDowell County, or this area, or up on Old Beach Mountain in Avery County. And in this day and time, broadband it's a necessity. It's becoming more a necessity than it is anything else, especially with kids. It's an encyclopedia anymore. And that's a good question. There's a lot of initiatives, there's a lot of discussion going on. And I think, and I want to get read into more, I think that's something that is on my radar in terms of projects that need to be completed or taken on. There's a lot of public-private partnerships initiatives out there, and some of those are kind of interesting. I won't say that I'm locked in on that right now, but I'm exploring that as probably the most feasible option out there. In other words, if government can go in there and help on the front end to put some infrastructure in place and so forth to expand those areas, that may be the best solution. Although I don't know, that's one proposal I've heard that I think sounds the most reasonable in bringing that in. But it is a project that needs to be looked at because it's more and more vital to our way of life.
Mr. Vaughn, how many community events have you participated in or organized in the past year? Please list what events and what your contribution was to those events.
Community events in the past year. I helped with a couple of Special Olympic law enforcement events to the prison system. Here in Mitchell County, we had a few at the prison, and then we had one down in McDowell County. Other than that, I've not assisted in any other community events.
Mr. Godfrey, tell us a little more about your background.
I have spent most of my adult life doing public service work, either in law enforcement, corrections, or county work, bridge. This is why I think I'd be good for the county here for the public service part of it. I know what needs or should be done. Try to help get the right amount of money appropriated for that. I've probably got about 12 years of experience in corrections. I've got 10 years in law enforcement. I've done ambulance work. About 11 years of that, I was operation manager for that. We had 3 divisions, or 3 stations. I was, back when fire first responders first got started, I was one that got the fire departments implemented with their first responder program, getting them trained and getting them equipped. This was back in the late 80s, early 90s. That's about it.
Thank you. Ms. Masters, what motivated you to run for county commissioner?
As I said earlier, I love this county. I care about the people. I've planted my roots. I have no plans on going anywhere. I want it to be better for everybody here. I want it to be better for generations to come. And there is a lack of transparency, in my personal opinion, and I would like to see that not be an issue anymore. I would like to see the current commissioner meetings be able to be straight and live so that people who have children and people who are at work can be a part of those meetings. And I'm drawing a blank. Sorry. But other than that, really, I'm not usually not one to complain about a problem unless I'm going to have enough backbone to step up and take a stand and try to make a difference. So that's probably why I feel like I'm approachable. Sometimes if Corey from the newspaper takes my picture, I'm a little bit I don't look friendly, but you can always do it.
Commissioner Harding, the fire service in Mitchell County is in desperate need of volunteers. In 20 years, the volunteer fire service is expected to be non-existent. What action should or could the county take, if any, to help retain volunteers in Mitchell County's 7 volunteer fire districts?
That's a great question, and I never knew anything about fighting a fire, what they did until I became a commissioner, and I was appointed to their fire association. I've learned a lot, have respect for them, the sacrifice they make day in and day out, 24/7, with no money to speak of. There's been talk throughout the county that we can close down the local volunteer fire departments and we can have paid positions. That's not going to work, guys. It'll never work. Your volunteers are the backbone of the community. Financially, Mitchell County could not afford that. It would take every penny of money, which is $1 million, to partially fund a couple of departments. At the last Fire Association meeting, I asked, and I cannot think of his name, but he's at Moline Community College, if we get a program started at Malin, along with Mitchell High School, when those kids went in, they could come out with a fire service hours, an EMS certification, working their way to being a paramedic. That is looking like it's going to be a reality. I got a call last week. I've been asked to sit on that advisory board to get that plan started. So that is going to be the first step. Is it going to fix it? No, it's not going to fix it. But how are you going to draw volunteers that you ask to get out at all hours of the night, put their life in danger? And one thing I remember was the pizza shop in Spruce Pine caught on fire several months ago. I went to town. Our business was close to that. Could have been affected. Excuse me, I get a little emotional. I saw guys working together, teaming together. I saw a guy up on a ladder, smoke coming in his face. Probably asbestos shingles that was burning, and this guy's risking his life to possibly get cancer to save the rest of downtown. So, like I said, and there's some of these guys sitting here, and it's been my pleasure to serve on that board and learn exactly what they have to do in the sacrifice.
Thank you. Howard Larson, 1 minute remote.
This is not a rebuttal, it's just adding to it. On February 27th, the Fire Association is having a gathering to get ideas on what the volunteer fire department can do to improve their situation in this county. I've gone to one meeting, I plan to be there on the 27th, I've been doing some research. There's some good models in this state we can look at. There's a volunteer fire department over Roanoke Falls. I think they have a model we can look at in this county to help the recruitment of young people, starting at the age of 12 or 14. I know some of that's already done. I think it should be expanded. The county commission needs to do a lot, being the spokesman, the mouthpiece, to get the word out that fire departments are not funded well, and they are they can be a money saver. They can be a money saver to us, and it's just crucial. I never call the fire departments either. They call, they answer, and they have a barbecue. That's about it. There's a lot more to it. Thank you, Brandon.
Yes. Mr. Pittman, 1 minute rebuttal.
I don't really have a rebuttal, but I would like to add that I was there at that meeting where the Fire Association came to the Commissioner's Board, and I appreciate Mr. Harding, I appreciate Jeff stepping up and being proactive and getting ahead of this thing before it's a crisis. And I think in not too many years it's going to be a crisis. So I think that's the way that our county government needs to work. We need to be proactive. We need to start seeking out potential issues in the future and addressing them now. And I wholeheartedly agree that education and getting young people involved is the way to solve this problem. I jokingly say that if I could talk 18 kids into joining a wrestling team every year, for no reason, we can talk some into put forth their energy in a great effort like the volunteer fire department.
I have 2 more questions. I have 2 more questions, and I guess I'll just ask them, and whoever wants to answer them can answer them, since we're finished with the order there. What is your position of the wild and scenic river designation with a tow and no checking? Go ahead.
Well, we passed that resolution. Everything sounds good when you first comes in there. We'd pass that resolution to protect that, and that's fine, and that's what we want. But also there's the other side of that. Now, I don't want to do anything that's going to hurt any jobs. And there's 2 sides to everything. And the worst thing a commissioner or any other board, I should have learned that years ago, is make those hasty decisions. So we rescinded that, but we're going to check for 90 days, and we're going to check both sides and see what needs to be done and what does not need to be done on this. So that's it.
Okay. Tractor trailers are dangerous and destroying our roads. What can be done to keep the roads safer?
Answer that question.
Do away with tractor and trailers, I guess.
No.
I think we're ready for closing statements, and we'll start back on the other end with Commissioner Harding. 3 minutes.
Folks, I said this already, it's a crucial time for Mitchell County. This election that's coming up, whoever's elected here is gonna be the face of this county for the next 10, 15, possibly 20 years. It's either gonna be the face of it for the good or the face of it for the bad. I would encourage everybody to go vote. That's a God-given right that you need to do, and in my opinion, if you don't go, you don't have a reason to be at your complaint. Okay? That's as simple as it is. We're all humans here. You've heard everybody speak. I think everybody loves this county. Everybody has different ideas. I'm a very plain and simple person. If you see me Monday through Saturday, I got a red hoodie on that says Harding's Landscape on the back, a pair of work boots and a pair of blue jeans. You're not going to see me dressed up very often. I'm a very blunt person. Sometimes that gets me in trouble, and I'm straight to the point. You know where I stand. I have made no promises to anybody since I've been an elected official, and I will continue not to make any promises, except I will make the best decision that I have based on the information and the facts that I have, not hearsay. I am committed to this position. I have made very tough decisions in the past. I stand behind every decision that I've made. I stand behind everything that I've said. I will not waver. I think I bring some experience. I think that I have been very transparent with this community and everybody in this community. And being a small business owner, I'm all about accountability, because the customers I work for, they hold me accountable every single day that I go to work. And I hold my men accountable every single day that they go to work. So transparency and accountability is a big factor with me. Again, I encourage you to go vote. Again, I would ask you to consider me one of those candidates. Thank you very much. Thank you for coming out tonight. Be safe going home.
I just want to say thank you again to everybody that came out tonight. Be careful going home. There's lots of deer that we're moving earlier, so don't hit one. But like I said earlier, you know, I'm not going to sit here and try to feel you. I'm not going to blow smoke up your butt. That's a nicer way to put it, probably. I see my husband has his head down. I'm sorry. But in all seriousness, I don't care if you have promised your vote to someone. You need to really consider going out whenever you're there on March the 3rd to vote. And you may have promised it to somebody, but you need to know in your heart that you're making the decision, because this election is going to be very crucial. And you need to have someone in there, these next 3 seats, that are going to be able to make hard decisions and be able to like it or lump it. It's what we need. And I'm going to add on to what Jess said, you know, accountability and transparency are very, very crucial. So I'm going to hand it off to Wayne.
Thank you, everyone. I'm not from here, and there's been a lot of talk about what we need to change, and it's pretty evident that a lot of people feel that way. There's as many candidates as we have. I think that, what I would like to do, if I'm elected, is to start live streaming every county commission meeting that we can live stream. There's no reason, it's the 21st century, there's no reason why you can't get on a computer if you can't make it and watch it, or watch it on a Sunday afternoon if you wanted to. Go to our website and bring that up. I think that also people ought to be able to come to the meetings and voice their thoughts and feelings on things. I think we're doing a lot of money's going out to other counties that's never coming back to this county. And we need to try to start working on our own stuff here. The jail alone, that's a lot of expense money that's going out. I know there's a lot of people that are upset about the DSS thing right now, and that needs to be addressed. How come she's losing so many jobs? I've noticed some stuff, reviewing some of her receipts and stuff coming in. That doesn't make sense to me. If she has a county card, a county credit card, how come she's using her card and billing the county for mileage and using her credit card to make purchases with and then bill the county for it? Some of this stuff just needs to be checked in. I'm not saying it's right, I'm not saying it's wrong, but it needs to be checked into so the public knows. We all hear rumors, but we need to have facts. I think the county commission needs to slow down a little bit on some of the decisions they make. They get too hasty with them sometimes. But I'm not here, I keep hearing about the good old boy thing. I'm not from here. I don't belong to a good old boy system. I will treat everybody equally and on a square foot. There's just too much rumors going on. We need to have a lot more facts before we react to stuff. We're all guilty of it.
10 seconds.
That was quick. I think there needs to be a lot more transparency in the county commission. There's a lot of things being said that's not true. There's a lot of half-truths.
I'd like to thank everybody for coming out tonight and be careful going home. I run about 12 years ago, and they was at the time they was looking at doing a jail. At that time there was money spent for studies and such, and then the next three elected come in and nothing was done. I think we need to look at that because over the years there's been a lot of money spent on studies, but nothing's never come of it because in 4 years you vote 3 more in and then it's killed. So if we're really serious about jail, we need to see that it's followed through and it's done. I've coached ball, the youth. Yes, they need to be something in the county for the youth. But also in looking at a youth complex and such, you need to add activities for the elderly too, that the senior citizen can come and participate in and such too. Because you keep them active, then you keep them healthier, and that goes along with geriatric program that Ms. Huskins over there started the prison system to keep the elderly inmates active so they didn't get dementia and such. So we need stuff like that for the elderly. With the fire departments, that just come about. I didn't realize it was such a hardship to get volunteers, because back whenever I was younger, there was, Lord, they was filled with volunteers. Me and one of my buddies was volunteers. We rode with the ambulance service and stuff, and we just had all kind of volunteers. But from listening to the fireman speak at the meeting the other night, it is a real crisis, and it's going to be on us upon if we don't do something soon to plan for it. getting small businesses in here, so you have stuff for people to be able to make a living and move to this area. We have one of the finest areas in the United States. We have the loveliest people, we have the kindest people, and just to see our children move off and move to big cities and such where you don't find this kind of love and community-wide caring is just sad. And that's why I really want to run for county commissioner to help build this community and build it for our youth and for our children to come back to and see their children grow and raised here. We have the finest schools, we have great teachers, and I'm just honored to grow up in this area.
Well, again, thank you for the opportunity to come, and you folks who came out tonight to give me the opportunity to kind of introduce myself to some of you that didn't know me. When Representative Dobson made the decision that he was going to seek another office, and by the way, just let me put a plug in there. I don't have a primary March the 3rd, but he does for North Carolina Labor Commissioner. Josh Dobson has represented this district well, and I think he will do an excellent job as North Carolina's Labor Commissioner. So please remember Josh Dobson, who's on the primary ticket on March the 3rd, and cast a vote for him, because I think it'll be an important move for our state to have him in that position. That being said, I felt like that it was important. Not only was my situation such that I had the time to devote to it, but I felt like it was important for us to keep this district, to keep a voice for common sense conservatism in Raleigh. And that had a lot to do with my decision to run. So just I told you a while ago, most of my background is in the public sector. I was raised the son of a small businessman, and so I have a little bit of understanding about the private sector as well. My father, my family operated Green and Taylor Nurseries up at Newland for some 45 years up there, so I remember my dad going through trying to decide how to make a payroll and those kind of things and what to devote. So I have some understanding about that. And I have said as my legislative priorities, I've got a lot to learn. I probably won't know the ins and outs of a specific bill at this time, but I'm learning more all the time. But my priority, I'll be pro-public safety, I'll be pro-education, and pro-business representative, and it would be my honor to represent this district, and I would appreciate your votes.
Again, I want to thank the foundation for hosting this forum and all that have been here tonight. There's a lot of issues coming up in the next couple of years. We've got EMS contract, we've got to build a sheriff's department, we've got a school, we've got a lot of things doing, and I'm old, I've got quite a bit of experience in this stuff. I'm not going to make hasty decisions. I'm going to work. I'm going to look at what needs to be done, and I want to keep our county moving forward. I'm going to ask for your vote tonight. I'm going to ask for your support. I want to keep our county strong, and I want you that are here tonight all have a group of people that's going to listen to you. They know you're interested in Mitchell County and the future of Mitchell County, or you would not have taken the time to be here. I ask you to talk to your friends and your neighbors and ask them to vote for me, and together we'll keep working and move our county forward. God bless and good night.
I also want to thank everybody that came. And if you think change is needed, be sure to vote. Can't say nothing, can't complain if you don't vote. And I will do the best I can for the county. will answer any questions about anything that comes in front of the commissioners, because it's the taxpayers' money that we're dealing with. I ask you to vote, and I thank you.
We're facing a lot of important decisions that's going to shape the future of Mitchell County. And I'd be lying if I sit up here and said that I had the answers to all these problems. The truth is that none of us really do. But I do believe there's great hope for Mitchell County. We have a community that supports one another. I've been on the receiving end of that support with the surgeries of both my young children. I can assure you with your vote, you're going to get an honest, hard-working, proactive commission. I'll take to heart the advice of a Buladean native, my friend and mentor, who's not here tonight, who said his advice was to be transparent, approachable, flexible, accepting my core values, and accept criticism even though it's often unfounded and inevitable. I appreciate those people in my life that has helped shape and mold me and give me solid advice. I'm blessed to have many of them. I'll leave you with one final thought. If we want real change at the local, state, and federal level, I believe it's best to listen to the words of our former President, Ronald Reagan. In Reagan's farewell address to the nation, he said, "All great change in America begins at the dinner table." I know that in Mitchell County, we still believe in that idea. I would appreciate your vote on March 3rd. Thank you.
Well, I would like to thank you for being here, because I don't know what it's like in the bleachers, but it's cold on this side of the table. I want to represent the people of Mitchell County and the County Commission. And I don't want to represent you with my ideas. I want to hear from the people. That's why I promised monthly public meetings. I want people to come in and tell me what's going on that's right and what needs to be changed. Mr. Burleson talked about age and wisdom. I do think there's a little truth to it. I've spent my professional career as an educator. I've taught everything from kindergarten to psychology of adolescent lit on the college level. I served in the United States Air Force. Biplane, but it was a long time ago. I've sold mobile homes. I've done just about anything to make a living. My wife and I worked hard, retired, and moved here. My wife wanted to come back to the mountains. She just didn't want to be with her family. She didn't want to be near them. So, you may understand that. It's been an awakening for me. So I want to be here more, because Mitchell County has a lot of potential that I don't think are developed. And there's a lot of youth. It's going to take people my age and older to come up with some good ideas, and young people too. We have to stop people moving away and get people to stay and be attracted to this region. We look at our neighboring counties, and they're doing something we're not. We need to go out and find out what they're doing and get it here. So I appreciate your support, and you vote for any of these fine gentlemen on March 3rd, because I don't have a primary. Smith Masters, I said gentlemen, I forgot.
Accept your apology.
I appreciate the Community Foundation for putting this on. Appreciate all of you for coming out and listening and hearing from us. You've got proven leadership. You've got leadership that saved you money. You've got leadership that cares about Mitchell County. I ran 4 years ago. I put the right person at the right time for the right reason. I've got no axe to grind. I've got no agenda. The only thing that I want to do is see the people of Mitchell County succeed and the people of Mitchell County move forward. If there's things to be dealt with, this board has a pretty good history of going on the facts. I'll get an independent agency to find out the facts. We may have to do that again. We may have big problems that we have to address, and this board's got a pretty good proven record of addressing problems and issues that pertain to Mitchell County. But we won't be reactionary. We're not going to go on innuendos or rumor. We're going to go on the facts. And we're going to do what's best for the people of Mitchell County, because we care about Mitchell County. We've got no agenda other than to do what is best for you all and to make sure that you get the best service for the cheapest tax rate that is absolutely possible. Why? Because I live here. My parents lived here. My grandparents lived here. My great-grandparents lived here. I love this dirt and I love these people. And I'd ask for you to vote for me and support me this spring. Thank you.
I'd just like to say I appreciate everybody coming out tonight. I know it's rainy and roads are very wet. Deer is out, like she said. Be careful going back home tonight. Thank the Buladean community for putting this on tonight for us. Like I mentioned in my opening statement, folks, it's time to move on. We've got to move forward. We want our kids, young people to stay here in Mitchell County, but we've got to give them resources and the things to do to raise a family in Mitchell County now. There's nothing for them to do. Nothing that they used to do. My teenage son, my two teenage sons loads up on Saturday night or Friday night. They head to Marion. About 30 of them. Football team, wrestling team. The bowl. They go down there and bowl and have a good time. They have to go out of county. We don't need that, but we need to keep our revenue and stuff here in the county. 47 years, I've seen one thing coming here. It's benefited and went on, and that's Walmart. Friday and Saturday, how many people you see walking around Walmart or 2 million miles long? They don't want to do that. We need to move forward, especially with the jail. Let's keep our officers safe. I've been in correctional on 23 years now, April. You know, transport 16, 19 inmates, 1 officer, 2 officers, that's dangerous. You know, we need to keep a revenue here in the county. Let's build a jail. That's create jobs and stuff. You know, like I'm gonna pledge to you right now. I don't even know what the county commissioners get paid. I'm sure they get paid something on that. I won't be the only runner. You don't have to pay me nothing. Sure, you got to pay me $12,000 to get me work for the county. I'll work for you if I'm voted in. I'll start working for you right then. You know, we need to change.
Lord, have mercy.
Appreciate y'all coming out tonight and me work for our kids do, man. Thank you.
Oh gosh, I love it.
Before we leave, and there's no bigger fan of transparency in this room than I am, I would think. And in the interest of full disclosure, I would like to say that none of the questions asked tonight were mine. They were all submitted by people in this room. I divided them into 4 stacks, one which was addressed directly to Mr. Godfrey, one which was to challengers, 1 stack was for current commissioners, and 1 stack was for questions that could have been asked to either, and I just asked them at random. Also, there's a candidate, hopefully a candidate for county commissioner here who's trying to gather enough signatures to be on the November ballot as an affiliated candidate. His name is James Stevens, he's sitting right there. He's asking for anyone here, or everyone here, to sign his petition at some point before they leave tonight.
Thank you all for coming out tonight. Like I said, this is the first time this board has ever put on anything like this, and I think it was a great success. Appreciate all your motions coming out. You know, if you want to cast a smart vote, you get an informed vote. The only way you get information is to listen to it. So, we really appreciate it. Or read it in the paper.